Welcome to the 5th Leadership Summit of IIM Raipur, based on the theme New Horizon of Indian Business, March Towards the 100 Years of Indian Independence. I am Shruti Poddar from the Media and Public Relations Committee of IIM Raipur. Today, we are pleased to host Mr. Ranganathan, Executive Vice President, Larsen & Toubro, which is an Indian multinational engaged in EPC projects, high-tech manufacturing and services, operating in over 50 countries worldwide. He has had over 3.5 decades of varied and rich experience in the organization. Good afternoon, sir. We are honored to host you at the 5th Leadership Summit of IIM Raipur. I hope you had a great discussion on the panel's topic. Could you please share your experience with us?
Good afternoon and thank you. To start with, let me wish everybody who is listening happy times, healthy times, and take care to stay safe because that's important now. It was thought-provoking, and the fact that the three panelists were from three entirely different backgrounds. One was from the fashion design, second was from the software, and I myself come from the core engineering. So to me, it was enlightening. I could hear certain views which otherwise in my brick and mortar area I don't get to. To that extent, it was good. I think the students and some of them asked interesting questions which made us really think on what is going on in the minds of 25-year-olds and what are they looking at from a future perspective. The whole experience has been, I would say, thrilling to me. Thank you.
So to what extent has innovation in technology contributed to the growth of the defense sector?
As I said during the session there, the countries invest in defense because even when there is no return, unlike in other places, there is a return on investment, which Mr. Sushil, my co-panelist, kept emphasizing. Defense you invest because you have to protect your country. It's not that it has to have a return. It's not directly a kind of an industry average. Having said that, what we have tried to do is, in our own limited way, wherever we get to carry out some innovation in defense, we are trying to see if we could leverage it elsewhere. For example, what we decided, I would be a little restricted in my speaking because I am bound by certain undertakings I have given to my customer and Ministry of Defense, but I'll try and still answer it. We were looking at certain exquisite non-metallic material, which is called composites, working on few subsystems. And the thought process was, how do we give it to the people outside, not necessarily us because we are not in that segment, to leverage it for something for the common man. Out there, I had spoken of the Jaipur foot as an example. So innovation in defense has far-reaching consequences. In fact, not just defense, but I would say the three critical strategy sectors, which are defense, nuclear and aerospace, have far-reaching implications. Look at today, space. I've spoken enough on defense, let me switch to space. India is a country which can launch a satellite at the most cost-effective way in the entire world. And if we had heard the Prime Minister of the United Nations General Assembly just about a week back, he talked of in her 75th year of independence, we want to try and see if we can launch 75 satellites. On an average, maybe we are doing 12, one odd time maybe 15. So that's a factor of 5. What is doing that? It's not that it is happening just because the Prime Minister says. What goes into it? Every element of technology. What gets made? How does it get tested on ground so that it can withstand the pressures or the lack of pressures in atmosphere? Each of these is contributing. And we are sure that once that goes, what is it going to do? The more the number of satellites, let's forget about the space debris, but the more the number of satellites in space, our communication, what do you call it as 5th generation or 5G, those things are going to become more and more and more widespread. Yes. To me, that is one takeaway, not so much from defense, but an allied sector where I'm part of the business.
Yes. So the Indian business ecosystem has grown the most in the last 30 years. What are the major contributors, in your opinion, to this growth?
While yes, 30 years we have seen, if I have to look at from the contributors to growth, I think it's come in 4 buckets. One, of course, the government providing for Now, I do not know how the government does it, but the government providing for large infrastructure things. If you say the East-West corridor, I'm going from infrastructure. Second is the government recognizing that if we have to sustain a population of so much, employment needs to be there. So, kind of triggering certain employment opportunities where you don't necessarily need graduates and postgraduates, but even a 10th pass. Those kind of opportunities. And I will give something which may look laughing matter, but which is very true. Look at an Ola today. Most of the people who drive an Ola, Uber, I mean, I'm not conscious of any brand, I'm just took Ola as just a generic name. The people there maybe 10th pass, I don't know if some of them are even 10th pass, but they know how to read a Google map, and they are able to generate at least their livelihood for themselves and their family of 3 or 4 are taken care of. So that's the second point. The third continues to be in the high investment area from government, which is the strategic sectors of defense, etc. We are building an air defense ship. How many countries in the world can do that? Now we may think that, oh, what does one air defense ship mean? But the fact that we are able to build an air defense ship of such a large size creates opportunities for a complete set of industries, because an air defense ship is like a building moving in sea. So it creates those kind of opportunities. Fourth, looking at it, the government has taken upon, and this is more in the last 5 to 10 years, I would say, not so much 30 years, has taken upon how to give importance to health for the last person on the road, and not for many of us who have the luxury of either our own money or parents' money to go to a hospital. How to provide sanitation, health services. Each of these itself created certain things. That's what made the tempo, if I could use the word industry tempo, to get a little more buoyant and induce positivity.
So my last question to you is, how would you describe your last 38 plus years of experience at Larsen & Toubro? How has the entire experience of being a major part of L&T's foray into the defense segment been for you?
When you create value, when you're willing to learn every day something new, I mean, like a young team member could come and say, hey Ranga, this is not the way a dashboard should look like. That's a learning for me. And when you think that innovation is what you're going to focus on, and you think it's your company, well, somebody else is the shareholder, doesn't matter, it's your company. I think the spirit of entrepreneurship, we call it the intrapreneurship, because entrepreneurship is our own money, we don't put it, the company puts it. But intrapreneurship, right from the day I started, and it is my 39th year, I have not had one day less excitement. When the boss fires also, it's excitement because there's something new I am learning. So I think that has been the core that has helped me sustain my energy levels, sustain my willingness to learn, bring in a sense of higher and higher responsibilities. Obviously, that's something which as we grow, we take on larger and larger roles. And most important is, and personal, this is very personal to me, focus on what am I doing for the country. My kids are abroad, but what am I doing for the country? This has been something which has been driving me, and ceaseless, endless excitement, day after day, hour after hour. And I do believe in work-life balance, but the work takes a little more than 50, so to that extent I try and see if I can do something off work, which I try and go for walks, I try and do crosswords and read books, fiction mainly.
So any books you would like to suggest to us?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not advertising for, I don't know if
So it'll not be visible because of the background.
Yeah, it's called Crime Zero by Michael Coddy.
Okay, sir.
Read it because it's very different, and it does reflect of what we went through from March 2020. Somewhere it has traces and links.
Okay, sir.
Of course, it's fiction.
So thank you so much for taking your time to answer my questions. It was really
Thank
great
you.
to host
And,
that time, right?
all the very best, Ms. Poddar. All the very best, and take care, stay safe, please, and all your colleagues too, all your friends.
Thank you, sir.